Welcome back, everybody, to Not Your Story with your main host, Rory, not your Rory. I am your vibe-only co-host, Bella, and today we have...
James Crowley from Rocketech.
Phenomenal. How are you doing today?
Good. Tired. It's been a long day, but yeah, good.
It's been a day. It's OTC day 3.
Yeah, 3 days in. Yeah, it's good.
Generally, events take 1 or 2 days, and then we wrap up.
Yeah.
We still have another day to do tomorrow.
Well, I guess 3/4 of a day, but yeah, another day.
Exactly. We're gonna be having a happy hour at the back of our eyelids right after this is over. Guaranteed.
Good.
Guaranteed.
Jim, take us back to the beginning. What inspired you to start Rocketech?
Well, yeah, I guess it was a sequence of events. So we were, myself and my brother and one other guy were working for Weatherford at the time.
Yeah.
And without boring you with the details, Weatherford closed the product line that we were involved with in the UK, relocated it to the States. So we had opportunity to relocate with the product line.
Yeah.
But we'd been in that kind of space for a long time. We'd done a lot of work, and we just felt that it was a good opportunity to try, at least, and do something on our own. So it was, the hand was forced, actually. But for the good in the long term, I think it had that not have happened, we probably never would have taken the step, to be honest.
How was it like taking the jump, making the leap?
It was nervous for a few reasons. For me personally, on a family level, because I had one young child and another one on the way. Yeah. So from that point, really simply, I was thinking, I need to make something work pretty quick. But overall, I think it was exciting. It was exciting. It was nerve-wracking. We had no work. We had no agreed kind of contracts or anything. We cheekily asked the Weatherford people we were leaving behind if they would entertain giving us some work, which went down like a lead balloon, as you can imagine. So it was really exciting, but nervous because we didn't have a lot of people when they start a business. There's something in the pipeline. They know they can get. We didn't have that, so it was nervous, but it was exciting.
It takes a lot of bravery. What advice would you give to like someone listening out there, an engineer who's working at a company and is thinking of taking that risk, but they're afraid?
I think the main thing is you have to. I hate using cliches, but you've got to cut your teeth. Yeah. In what you're doing, you've got to do that for a period of time, probably 10 years. Yeah. You've got to really understand the bit. If you're going to do that with your own venture, we couldn't have started Rocketech and been as successful as we have been without doing that. We would have lasted a couple of years and probably faded away. So I think be patient, do as much as you can in the role, try and diversify within that, try and whatever it is you're doing, get as much experience, and then I think have the bravery to do it. And I think the other bit of advice I would say is if you can, don't do it on your own. Yeah. You try and set yourself up on your own. My dad had his own business, construction business, but it was him. Yeah. He had a team of
one man back
people, but it was just him controlling everything, and it was hard. Yeah. He did really well, but it was hard. And luckily with Rocketech, there's 3 of us. Yeah. There's 3 directors, equal, so you can spread the load. So I'd say if you're going to go on your own, that's a tough.
Find a good co-founder.
Yeah, if you can. If you
got a brother.
If you've got a brother, luckily we get on. We've always got on. We worked together at Weatherford for 15 years, and we were never allowed to work for each other. That was like company policy. Yeah. But as long as you can spread the pressure, if you can, between 2 or 3 of you, it goes a long way.
What's that relationship been like working together, building Rocketech with your brother?
Really good, because obviously I trust him implicitly, and the other Dan, the other director, exactly the same. Yeah. But it is different with a sibling. I implicitly trust, and with all 3 of us, we're all good at different things. Yeah. We're all mechanical engineers. We've all come up the same way through serious companies. Yeah. And we all went into management positions, and we were managing teams of engineers and designers. Yeah. But we're all different, And Dan Crowley, my brother, is very technically one of the best engineers I know. Yeah, yeah. He really is technical in the details, but he's also able to speak to clients. Yeah. Comfortably. And then the other Dan, analytically and in terms of research and development, excellent. And I've been thrown into the marketing side, so I'm kind of all right at that, but certainly not as good as you guys. But yeah. So
So find a co-founder that complements your skill set. It's a great tip.
Yeah.
And as a British company, British engineering, how have you found that challenge with the perception problem that British engineering has?
Yeah.
And how have you navigated that with working within the US and then working locally within the UK?
It's a really good question. We were lucky in that because we worked for Weatherford Precision for 15 years. We kind of jumped that potential risk because we knew so many people.
You had the connections.
We knew so many people. And when Rocketech started, it took about 18 months for anything to happen.
To get off the ground.
We were getting a bit kind of nervous. And it ended up being people that we worked with within Weatherford that had gone to other companies.
Yeah.
And between us, we were thinking, when is this guy going to come in? When's this guy going to come? And then slowly they started coming. So that helped. The perception of British engineering we found within oil and gas, is technically very good. We've got the skills and the engineering expertise, but are we as kind of at the cold face with the field operations and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
But again, we were lucky because in our time as engineers within those companies, we went to the field, we worked in the field, we ran the tools. So we had all that kind of background as well. So I think it's a good question for a lot of companies. There would be a real hurdle to bridge that British engineer. But I think we were lucky just because although we're Brits and we're based in the UK, most of our clients are US based, US, Canada, and most of the people in companies that we work for have known us for so long. So I think we were just lucky, to be honest, to bridge that gap.
And why would a company come to Rocketech?
I think purely our skill set and our people.
Yeah.
So the people we've got are some of the best engineers and designers around, full stop.
Yeah.
But then when you align that to oil and gas and downhole technology, there's excellent engineers and designers in every company. But as a group of people within a consultancy, the bigger companies can come and use as and when they need to. I don't think you'll find a better group of people. And they, again, kind of luckily, I suppose, when Weatherford closed, a lot of those guys went off to other companies. You know, guys went to Schlumberger, went to Halliburton, went to all these companies. And then as Rocketech grew, we were able to go back to those guys who worked with us and say, are you willing to come and work for Rocketech? And they came back. So just the team of people and the expertise is first class.
So instead of hiring one engineer, you could get a full team of experts at your service.
That's absolutely right. And clients that we work for, why they come to us is one of two reasons. Either they haven't got the capacity in-house, they're too busy.
They're stretched,
so they need some more. Or they haven't got the expertise. So they've got a team of engineers, but they haven't quite got what we've got. And it's the typical kind of consultancy thing. Sometimes you pay more, but you get more for your, more bang for your buck because, as you said, you get the experience of all the people. So it's really, really, really good team of people.
And how has it been on the marketing front? Obviously, I think you came across Midnight and Bella for the first time at a show again.
Absolutely.
The first time.
It's been a journey, to be honest. When we started, the engineering was fine. We could handle that, and it was only me, Dan, and Dan. There was only three of us to start with. But to run a business, someone had to take care of the finance, someone had to take care of the marketing, someone had to take, and the marketing just kind of came in my lap. So I spent the first 2 years just kind of building a website with a developer, and then I was doing the LinkedIn stuff, and it was okay, and people liked it, but I was way down where it needed to be at. We employed a company, a UK-based company, probably 3 years in. They helped out, but they were very much I still had to produce all the content. I know the content, and they just dealt with using it. And it kind of went like that for a few years, and trying to get the other guys within the company to appreciate the importance of marketing was difficult. Because we're engineers, and even me, but I can understand the importance. We do get a lot of referrals and word of mouth. There's no question about that. But there's also, we have had completely cold leads through the marketing. So it does pay off. So then, myself and Rob went to the SP Drilling Conference in Galveston last year. And yeah, Bella and Tim were next to us. We kind of just, I remember we turned up and thought, what do these guys do? We kind of just got
of the century. What do we do?
But I mean, Rob and Bella knows Rob. He just chats to anyone.
Yeah,
really good. And we just got chatting, and without kind of boring you with the details, we went away from that, and especially me. And I said to Rob, we were talking about it on the way home on the plane. I said, we need to get these guys involved because what Tim and Bella explained, that to specialise in that marketing of oil and gas.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's what companies like us need. And it wasn't that no one else was doing it. And I don't think anyone else is doing it right now.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was just pure finances were a bit of a, and I had to justify it. And then it got to November.
Yeah.
And I said to Dan, I basically said, we're going to do it. That's it. Whether you want to or not, we're going to do it. Because I think we have to take a step. And so, we started with Bella and Tim in November. And it was we agreed like a 3-month short term, and I think we're on like month 6 now, whatever it is. So I love it. I love and Rosie, who does most of the work.
Shout out to Rosie.
She is, she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I would recommend anyone, certainly in this space, to take that step because it's a no-brainer.
I think we're very aligned. We're the Rocketech of marketing.
Yes. We
were speaking about this yesterday.
Really,
the same way an engineer or a big oil and gas company comes to Rocketech for a full service engineering solution.
Yep.
We're the same boat. We're
one and the same, and at the end of the day, it's the price and the people that make the most sense.
Yeah, and it really clicked with me when I was trying to explain to Bella and Tim, especially at a conference. With Rocketech, obviously we're bound by NDA and confidentiality as a consultancy. So we can't tell when people come up to the booth, and even when you speak to people in the office, can't tell them which companies we work for. We can't tell them the technology that we work on. If we could put something up on a booth that said we work for all these companies and pictures of the technology we worked on, people would walk past and go, "Oh, wow, these guys are pretty serious." Mm-hmm. But we can't do that.
So how do you navigate that?
It's really, even this week, it's really, people come up and
it's like, ooh, so many secrets.
That's right.
I can't tell you.
Exactly. And it resonated with me because, you guys pitch yourself as like worst kept secret in the marketing. It's the same for us.
Yeah.
We're just hidden in the background behind the companies we're working for.
Yeah.
Most companies don't want us seen.
Yeah.
They want the engineering coming out of their company. They don't want it coming from us outwardly.
Yeah.
Some companies are okay, so it's really difficult, and you just have to. I think we've been around long enough now that people know that we're credible, know the kind of technology we're working on.
Yeah.
But it is really tough. If I could just say to these people, we work for these companies on this technology, I'm pretty sure they'd
straight away
take a plunge straight away.
But that's why your booth has MI6.
Yeah, that's
covert
right.
engineering.
Covert in the background, just trying to fix the problems, making life for our clients easier.
That's the main goal.
Yeah, that's. They come to us with problems, we fix the problems, and then hopefully we get involved on all the new product development as well.
And just on a personal level, Jim, how has your journey been as a business owner over the past 7-8 years, and what have you learned in that time that you could give advice to the audience out there?
I've really enjoyed it. Me and Dan, my brother, like I said, our dad ran his own business, so I grew up in that environment of seeing the constant kind of effort. And it's a bit of a weird one. When I was employed as an employee within those companies, you have this kind of I had this underlying kind of feeling that I should be doing more. And I could be doing more. And that's difficult to do as an employee. Sometimes you can only go so far within certain companies. So I really, really enjoy it. It's really hard work. It never goes away, and certainly for our business, the biggest struggle is the peaks and the troughs and trying to make sure the pipeline come in, the pipeline of clients come in. So advice to people, I would advise people, if they can, to definitely try and get into their own business. I'd recommend it. I think small businesses like Rocketech and Midnight prop up most industries, I think. Those small companies, SMEs, are the bread and butter of the industry in some ways. So I would 100% recommend it to people. Don't underestimate the challenge. You speak to some people and they say, I want to have my own business. And that's great, and the enthusiasm, but it's hard work.
What do you have to sacrifice?
Family. Time, I think, is the main thing that you sacrifice. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
You know, when the weekends and when you're away on holiday and vacation, it doesn't go away.
Always on.
And sometimes it takes, you know, like my wife to say stop,
Yeah.
put it away, and you do, and it's okay. But at the same time, my kids, I've got 2 daughters. They see how hard you work, and hopefully, I would never want them to think they have to work that hard. But maybe they look at it and think, I could do something like that, and I could have my own business.
Are either of them interested in doing what you do?
My eldest is, she's in sort of second year senior school.
Right.
Yeah.
They're both really bright, but they're definitely latching on to the
STEM
business.
Yeah.
Having your own, being in control of your own time and stuff. And it all sounds great, doesn't it? When people say I can be in charge of my own time, I can decide my own.
But you can't do that at the beginning.
You can't. It's just flat out.
Yeah.
People always
romanticize it, but the other side of it isn't always
tough.
addressed.
It's really tough, and it's really tough. But my advice would be, if you're going to do it, put everything into it.
Yeah.
And you'll probably make it work if you put the time and the effort.
And what's next for you and Rocketech looking ahead?
The reason, one, we're here, we want and we need to expand the consultancy business.
Yeah.
More clients and grow the company with more people.
Yeah.
A consultancy is the business model is fairly simple with a consultancy. It's just people.
Yeah.
If you want to scale the business, you need more people to work for more clients. So we've grown from the 3 of us to there's 15 of us now, which is good. We really want to try and double that.
Take it to the next level.
Get to a team of about 30. That's where we want it. That's where we see it kind of probably staying at for a while. So that's probably, if we could do that in the next 3 years. So just scale the business, and then we've got some exciting products of our own. Yeah. Which the key thing on those is that they're not products that compete with our clients. Yeah. So Rocketech would never want to bring out products that compete directly with our clients. It would just be stupid. So the products we're working on complement most of those clients' technology, which is good. And a lot of those clients know about that technology. Yeah. So grow the consultancy and move the products forward in the background over the next 2 to 5 years.
Right.
And if you could go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I think it would be patient. I think I was quite gung ho when I was like a younger engineer. And it comes back to what we said about sometimes within those companies you can only go so far. And I'd certainly got to a point where I felt like I couldn't go any further, and I was kind of agitated and wanted to do more. But if you're patient and you take your time and kind of put your effort into learning the trade, then you can do anything when you get there. You just have to be patient, be disciplined to do the work.
And have the vision.
Have the vision, yeah, absolutely.
And last off, Jim, where can people find more about you and about Rocketech? Yeah,
predominantly Rocketech. Check out the website, rocketech.com. And then check out my LinkedIn profile. Everything pretty much comes through the Rocketech LinkedIn page and then mine. Yeah. And then pick up the phone or drop us an email, and we can chat to anyone at any time and hopefully help with any of their engineering problems.
Yeah, we'll drop all the links in the show in the show notes. But appreciate you coming on, and we love working with you.
Yeah, sounds good. Nice
Pleasure.
to meet you. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.